my god, you guys. Ruby Frank, mom of the YouTube channel 8 Passengers, just got arrested for child abuse alongside her cohort Jodi Hildebrandt. For those of you who don't know of Ruby Frank, she was the mom of the YouTube channel 8 Passengers, and she's been pretty controversial over the past couple of years. She's mainly been controversial with her whole parenting style, the way she treats her kids, and certain beliefs that she publicly states on social media. After Ruby had parted from her YouTube channel, she moved on to a new endeavor, and this endeavor was called Connections. It was a YouTube channel with her and her business partner Jodi Hildebrandt, and it was highly criticized. The stuff these two were preaching about and encouraging thousands of people on social media were not okay. And we're going to be going over some of those clips later on in this video, but for now, let's go over the breaking news. This story goes way deeper as Ruby Frank is now in jail and she is being charged with child abuse or child neglect. The details in the article that go in on why exactly Ruby was arrested is really sinister, and it involves a child who reportedly was duct taped and had to leave his home to basically cry for help. So this all started when Sherry Frank, one of the daughters of 8 Passengers' mom, Ruby Frank, posted this on her Instagram story. It was all of a sudden, and it wasn't really something anyone was expecting really. She captioned this photo, "Finally," and of course it was cops and a whole police scene. At first, people were really confused on what was going on, and then Sherry and her sisters doubled down. They confirmed that Ruby did in fact get arrested, and they couldn't be any happier, as they were just basically like, it was finally time. Sherry continued to post a series of Instagram photos, and she captioned them, "I need your help. If you have links to any questionable or concerning Connections or 8 Passengers videos, please DM them to me. It's too much for me to sort through myself. More specifically, Connection stuff. We are aware of most of the 8 Passenger things already." She then attached a Google Doc link for her followers to kind of just add in video clips and any other evidence they could find that could prove some of the things that Ruby publicly stands by, and it's not good. Before we get into those video clips though, here was the article that Fox 13 posted on why Ruby was arrested. Now, I do want to give a trigger warning because it gets really graphic. It reads, "Arresting documents detail that the arrest was made after a child climbed out of the window of an Ivins residence at around 10:50 a.m. and ran to a neighbor's home for help. The home belonged to Jodi Hildebrandt, who is involved with a parent counseling service called Connections and was also arrested in relation to the case. The child knocked on the door and asked for food and water, but the neighbor noticed duct tape on the child's ankles and wrists and called police," documents state. Now this is insane. I mean, duct tape on the child's ankles and wrists, the child reportedly being malnourished and emaciated, basically almost starving to death, is just a very questionable environment. And while a lot of people knew that Jodi and Ruby were very extreme with the things that they would say on parenting, specifically on social media, they didn't really expect things to go to this extreme. The calling party stated the juvenile appeared to be emaciated and malnourished with open wounds and duct tape around the extremities. A statement from local authorities reads, "Police described the wounds, neglect, and malnourishment of the child to be severe," arresting documents state, and the child was taken to the hospital for treatment. After the first child was taken to the hospital, another child was discovered in the home and was found to be malnourished as well, officers reported. What's crazy about all of this is that people started noticing that Ruby was actually deleting a lot of stuff from her YouTube channel as well as her social medias before this news broke out, and it all adds up if you really look back in hindsight. I mean, was she deleting all the content to remove evidence of why she's been arrested, such as some of the cruel things she was saying on social media and a lot of the evil things she was promoting on social media? Well, it's too late for her to backtrack now because people are posting clips of everything she was encouraging and flat out supporting in terms of parenting styles all over TikTok. It's extremely sinister and evil-hearted things she was saying about her kids. Now, Ruby's sisters even released an Instagram statement implying that the arrest needed to happen and basically that it was about time, that the kids kids are now safe, and they emphasize that the children are now out of harm's way with this lengthy post they all wrote on their Instagram. They said, "For the last 3 years, we have kept quiet on the subject of our sister, Ruby Frank, for the sake of her children. Behind the public scene, we have done everything we could to try and make sure the kids were safe. We wouldn't feel right about moving forward with the regular content without addressing the most recent events. Once we do, we will not be commenting on it further. Ruby was arrested, which needed to happen. Jody was arrested, which needed to happen. The kids are now safe, which is the #1 priority." Sherri shared a Google Doc, as I mentioned, and people are posting a bunch of clips from her YouTube channel, as well as what she would say on the Connections YouTube channel about her kids, and how people should go about parenting their own kids. Let's go over some of the clips that people have been updating on this Google Doc that Sherri Frank shared for what seems to be court proof or evidence for the police. Ruby talking about her kids not being allowed personal space and everything is hers.
No. In this home, you don't get personal space because this is my space because I'm the parent. If you want your own personal space, you'll need to get your own space. This is mine. And as long as you're living in my home, it is my job to know everything about you. You don't get to sneak, you don't get to hide, you don't get to have secrets. Not in my house. Do you see how loving that is? Now, if you're in distortion, you're reeling right now. If you're in distortion, you're ready to pull your hair out right now. You're ready to scream. So think about how that...
Ruby's saying if the boys don't stop messing around, she's going to take away their privilege to eat dinner.
Torturing him, stop it. I know you're not, but it looks like you are. Okay, Russell. I'm only gonna say it one more time and then you're gonna lose the privilege to eat dinner.
There was also this worrying clip that people were sharing where Ruby was talking about people with ED. In a really odd way, she was trying to make it seem like it was the kids' fault for having an ED, and it just seemed like she was trying to tell people that kids with ED are basically trying to control their parents, and that it's all just a facade, and that parents should basically just take away their kid's phone because apparently that's the cause of an ED. People were absolutely crushing Ruby in the comments of this TikTok once it went viral, saying things like, "Is she saying having an ED is kids trying to control their parents? Oh my god, she is not okay." One emphasizing what seemed to be Ruby's logic: "Your kid is not eating, it's because of that phone." Anyways guys, this is a recent story and news just actually broke out about this, but I definitely want to know what you guys think about this. Super crazy stuff. Hopefully all her kids are out of harm's way now, and hopefully they're doing well without Ruby and Jody. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I love you guys so much, and as always, I'll see y'all in the next video.